determined that Jimmy Haslam and Kevin Stefanski is not in a good place. Drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks. Neither quarterback has yet to see the light of day. The Cleveland Browns currently have 1 win on their record, and they got another tough bout going up this week against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, Jimmy Haslam is hella mad. He is furious with Kevin Stefanski for not benching Joe.
Forget Joe Flacco, something wicked is bubbling in Cleveland, and it sure ain't victory champagne. The Browns are limping along at 1-3. Shedeur Sanders hasn't touched the field, and Jimmy Haslam just dropped a bomb on Kevin Stefanski. Nobody knows what the next move is, but insiders swear the storm clouds are rolling in fast. Why is Shedeur still glued to the bench? Why is Haslam exploding now? This isn't just football anymore. It's turning into a full-blown scandal unraveling live for the whole world to see. If you're enjoying this drama, make sure to subscribe. It helps way more than you think. The Browns aren't just running plays, they're starring in the wildest soap opera in the NFL. The latest episode, owner meltdown, the Haslam Chronicles. 4 games into the season, with a sad little 1-3 record, Haslam snapped, and not in a cute, laugh-it-off way. This was billionaire meltdown energy at maximum volume, the type you'd expect if a yacht ran out of caviar. Because let's face it, the Browns aren't just losing games, they're losing every ounce of dignity, and the name fans keep chanting, Shedeur Sanders is still stuck on the sideline like he's some forgotten extra. 4 games gone, 0 snaps, and a fan base in disbelief.
I'm saying enough of Fluco. I've seen enough. I want to see both the rookie quarterbacks play football this year for the Cleveland Browns. So Dylan Gabriel will get his shot because he's second on the depth chart. But I promise you, Jimmy Haslam will make sure that Shedeur gets some starts this year sooner than later. But if you look at it from Stefanski's point of view, I'm pretty sure he's on the way out after this decision because they had just pulled off the upset of the century. They had just beaten Micah's Packers with Fluco at quarterback. Okay, so then they go to Detroit and they get blown out. Well, there shouldn't be a lot of shame in that because Detroit's...
Did Stefanski mistake Shedeur for the ball boy? How do you draft lightning in a bottle, sell hype like it's gold, and then leave him sealed up like a Christmas gift gathering dust in the attic? Jimmy Haslam has never been the poster boy for patience, and Cleveland knows it. This man has endured more Browns disasters than most folks have binge-watched Netflix. He's stomached draft busts, quarterback merry-go-rounds, and coaches tossed aside faster than a drive-through bag at closing time. But this latest mess, oh, it cuts different. Watching Kevin Stefanski push the same broken playbook week after week while Shedeur Sanders collects dust on the sidelines is like buying a Ferrari only to keep hitching rides in a beat-up Uber. And when Haslam snapped, it wasn't subtle. It was volcanic. Forget just raising eyebrows. The man went nuclear, torching the Stefanski show in front of everybody. Can you even blame him? This isn't some rebuilding year. This isn't trust the process. This was supposed to be a contender. Instead, the Browns are playing like they're auditioning for blooper reels on late-night TV. The only thing Cleveland can count on right now is just how consistently bad the offensive calls are. Fans are begging for Shedeur like he's football's chosen one, Picasso painted, Beethoven composed, and Stefanski, his art is wasting talent on the bench, and the scoreboard proves it. 1 lonely win, 3 crushing losses, and a city ready to hurl remote controls through their flat screens.
He has turned the ball over multiple times in every damn game he's played in. He's slow moving in the pocket. He needs to retire. That is the moral of the story. Kevin Stefanski has been saying, we're going to make the time when the time is right to, with the quarterback decision. As of right now, Joe is going to be the guy. Joe is just going to be the guy until we see otherwise. Now, from my understanding and the clip I'm about to show you, Andrew Berry, another one, is not happy with Kevin.
Now the pot's boiling over, and Haslam's outburst wasn't just noise. It cracked the whole narrative wide open. Cleveland isn't only arguing about dropped passes and busted defense anymore. They're talking about a billionaire who slammed his foot down and declared, "Enough." But hold up. What exactly is going through Kevin Stefanski's head right now? Is he scared that letting Shedeur Sanders loose will expose his entire playbook as a dumpster fire? Or is he just flat out allergic to change? Watching this man manage quarterbacks is like watching someone sit calmly in a burning house while the flames lick the ceiling. No worries, it's only a little warm. Meanwhile, everyone else can smell the smoke. From the outside, it's almost insulting how clear the answer looks. Shedeur Sanders is right there. Fresh legs, raw energy, the spark this roster is crying for. Yet week after week, the Browns' offense trots out looking like it's sworn an oath against scoring touchdowns. Fans aren't just frustrated, they're screaming into the abyss, wondering why their coach refuses to play the one guy who could flip the script overnight. And Jimmy Haslam, he's not blind.
So, where does that leave our man Shedeur? Is Flacco going to be QB2? Is Shedeur going to be QB2? A lot of talk that Flacco will be QB2. So, Skip.
Yeah.
What do you think this means for Shedeur?
It means that glory be Shedeur Sanders is actually going to get his shot this year in Cleveland.
Woo!
That's what just happened.
Agreed.
I was pleasantly shocked by this, and I don't believe that Kevin Stefanski had anything to do with this decision.
The man lives and breathes business, performance, results. Right now, the Browns are failing on every front. So when Haslam finally snapped, it wasn't just about the scoreboard, it was about respect, reputation, optics. No billionaire wants to watch his franchise become a national punchline. Sitting at 1-3 with pure talent rotting on the bench, Cleveland doesn't look like a team anymore. They look like a meme factory waiting to explode online. And if there's one thing Haslam knows, it's that the internet never forgets memes. The fallout from Haslam's blow-up? Oh, it's going to be downright delicious. The locker room is already walking on eggshells, and now with the owner publicly snapping, Stefanski's seat isn't hot.
You coach. I'm a Kevin Stefanski truther, which means I'm a hater because he's so bad. And he's so arrogant and uppity about it. Like, he doesn't belong in Cleveland. I've never really been to Cleveland. I've been to other parts of Ohio, probably some of the worst parts in Ohio, played baseball in some of the worst parts of Ohio. Nothing about that state gives me ivory tower. There's plenty of smart people in Ohio, but they're like kind of rugged, intuitive, intelligent. They're not snob.
It's straight volcanic. This isn't just a coach under normal pressure. This is a billionaire boss putting the entire city on notice. Patience is dead, and excuses won't cut it anymore. And right in the middle of the chaos, poor Shedeur Sanders, who never asked for drama, just a shot to play ball.
Really alluding to, the turnovers. The turnovers, man, you got to secure the ball. He said, we got to play cleaner. But, I'm getting word from multiple sources, man, out there in Cleveland, man. They want change, man. They want Kevin Stefanski and this organization to turn over the keys to the young guys, man. To let the young guys ball out, man. Joe Flacco is 40 years old, man. That ship has sailed, man. Now you're going into next week against the Baltimore Ravens, and that's another tough game. And the way the Cleveland Browns played today, they had all the opportunities to win the game, man. But Joe Flacco failed to get the job done, man. 2 costly turnovers, man. You got to move the ball, and you got to secure the ball. Cleveland Browns defense played lights out. They gave Joe Flacco on the offense all the ammunition.
He walked in ready to spark life into a flatlining franchise, but instead he's become the most controversial bench warmer in the NFL. Every sideline shot of Shedeur looks like it belongs in a soap opera montage, complete with dramatic music and slow zooms. Fans aren't just rooting for him, they're clinging to him like he's Cleveland's last lifeline. And Stefanski's stubborn refusal to unleash him has turned every Sunday into a tragic what-if episode. But here's the real twist. This saga isn't cooling down, it's just heating up. Haslam's eruption wasn't a one-time tantrum. It was the opening scene of a scandal set to rock the league. Does Stefanski swallow his pride and finally give Shedeur the keys? Or does he drag the Browns deeper into embarrassment? Does Haslam keep throwing tantrums from his luxury box? Or does he pull the billionaire nuke and fire someone mid-season? Either way, Cleveland isn't gearing up for football. They're bracing for chaos. And honestly, chaos might be the only thing more entertaining than the brand of football they've been serving. Cleveland isn't just losing football games, they're losing their grip on reality. Every Monday morning, Browns fans don't even ask, did we win?
The Suns should have been the first overall pick. Again, I'll say it. But I don't see how Shedeur is going to get any shot in Cleveland this year unless it's something like you experienced where everybody gets hurt. And I'm knocking on wood for everybody because I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I'm going to assume that Dion taped the new Hype podcast at the end of last week. It was dropped on Monday, but it had to be taped ahead of Cleveland shocking the Green Bay Packers. So I assume he was talking about the 0-2 Browns. But Dion said, I have a prediction to make. I don't know if he had inside information with that prediction. He does know Jimmy Haslam, the owner, and Shedeur's only hope in Cleveland is that the owner wants some
Anymore. The real question is, how creative was the disaster this week and the newest gimmick, pretending Shedeur Sanders doesn't exist, like he's some invisible ghost haunting the sidelines? Honestly, if Shedeur ran into the huddle holding a giant neon sign that read, "Play me," Stefanski would probably shrug, squint, and dial up the same recycled play from last week. And that's exactly where Jimmy Haslam's billionaire rage comes storming in. This man has dumped mountains of cash into the franchise, only to watch it perform like a junior varsity squad, running plays ripped straight out of Madden's rookie mode.
Andrew Berry wants to play Shedeur, but we seen him kind of cater to Shedeur a little more. Now, here's where we rock in the hard place. What's going to happen? Because if Kevin Stefanski do not listen to his boss, because he have bosses, that is Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam, bro, he's definitely getting fired. Ain't no ifs and buts about it. He's getting fired. So do not be surprised if we see a quarterback change this week. Now, I don't think he's going to outright say he's going to change quarterbacks, but I'm thinking it is going to be a quarterback change in this game going up against.
He's not sipping wine in that suite, smiling politely. He's sitting there fuming, realizing he invested in a rocket ship that can't even roll out of the driveway. The anger bubbling inside Haslam finally detonated. Forget quiet boardroom talks or behind-the-scenes whispers. This was full-blown, I've had it mode. And when an NFL owner flips the switch to volcanic fury, there's no PR spin strong enough to clean it up. Stefanski's calm, buttoned-up image is nothing against a billionaire seconds away from popping a vein because his team can't find the end zone. And don't forget the fans. Cleveland fans might be the most loyal, long-suffering souls in all of sports. These are the same people who survived the factory of sadness years, who stood by through endless quarterback carousels, who treated every rare playoff appearance like the second coming itself. And now they're being forced to watch this circus unfold again. But even Cleveland fans have their breaking point, and watching Shedeur Sanders rot on the bench while the team crumbles is exactly the kind of nightmare that sends people to Facebook.
For you and just kind of kept coming back at it.
I thought he saw it well. I thought, I thought he saw it well. Got the ball to the correct people a lot of the time. Mary Kay gave guys opportunity to catch and run. But yeah, frustrated for him and for everybody.
Those deflected passes, that did you just think both of those should have been caught by your receivers?
Listen, if you ask those guys, they're going to say yes. Jerry and said our two best receivers, we are counting on them. We will always be counting on them, and they will come through for this football team. I have zero doubt about that. Zero.
Hammering out angry open letters in all caps with way too many exclamation marks. You can literally feel the frustration hanging over the city like a storm cloud. Tailgates don't even feel like parties anymore. They've turned into therapy circles. The rallying cry isn't about defense or field goals. It's one name, Shedeur. This isn't just fan chatter anymore. It's a movement. Instead of chanting outside City Hall, they're yelling outside the stadium gates, dog masks on, cheap beer cans in hand, demanding Stefanski let the kid play. Every single loss now feels like another slap across the face. And every week Stefanski digs in. The chants grow louder, angrier, and impossible to ignore. Call-in radio is flooded, social media is boiling, and all anybody asks is the same thing. Why isn't Shedeur playing?
Right. So I'm kind of getting the inkling that there's going to be a quarterback change very, very soon, and I think it's going to be this upcoming Sunday. Now, here's the question that Mary Kay asked Kevin. She said, well, Kevin, if Dylan does get to start, where does Shedeur Sanders lands on the depth chart? Will you make Joe Flacco your second string quarterback? Or will Shedeur remain third string? He refused to answer the question. Because let's say Dylan does get to start. Will Shedeur then be moved to quarterback 2?
Haslam doesn't want his billion-dollar toy of a team to be a punchline, but right now the Browns look like they're starring in a tragicomedy. And Stefanski, he's acting like he's untouchable, like starting 1 to 3 is some kind of master plan. He's clutching that busted playbook like it's a security blanket while the whole house burns around him. Watching him coach is like watching someone throw a Dixie cup of water on a grease fire. Predictable, painful, and doomed. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is stuck in the weirdest role in football. Cleveland's forbidden fruit. He's the player everyone wants, but no one's allowed to have. Shedeur Sanders could walk onto the field right now, complete one pass, just one, and fans would probably storm the turf crying tears of joy. That's how desperate Cleveland has become. But instead, there he is, helmet strapped, standing on the sideline, waiting, watching, while the Browns' offense sputters along like a beat-up car running on 3 flat tires. And Jimmy Haslam, he sees it all, and he's not staying quiet anymore. This is now morphed into the juiciest storyline of the week. Analysts aren't just talking about Cleveland's sorry record, they're picking apart body language, chasing down leaks, and measuring the volume of Haslam's fury like it's some Netflix true crime doc. The tension in this franchise is so thick, you could slice it with a butter knife. And poor Stefanski, the man who was once praised as calm, cool, collected, now looks like someone frantically trying to patch together a sandcastle while the tide swallows it whole. Every press conference feels like a hostage tape. Every answer sounds rehearsed in the mirror, while the roar of his billionaire boss screaming in the background gets louder and louder. But here's the kicker. It's not just about 4 games anymore. This is about identity.
This is the Cleveland Browns QB1, dog. Y'all quite frankly pissing him off. And I'm finna show y'all why Shedeur is the starting quarterback, dog. They put Dylan Gabriel in the game after washed-up 40-year-old Joe Flacco got sent out of the game, dog. Look at that. That's trash. That's trash, dog. That's absolutely terrible. You get in the game and do that, Gabriel? Guess what? Your coach is kind of pissed off, too. Look at your coach. He's like, damn, that didn't work either. Let me tell you something here, buddy. You better start Shedeur. Or your job is on the line, baby.
Are the Browns a team chasing wins, or are they content being the NFL's eternal cautionary tale? Haslam clearly wants results now, yesterday even. Stefanski, he's stuck in neutral. And Shedeur Sanders, he's the wild card, the spark everyone knows could ignite everything. What's really driving fans mad isn't just the losing, it's the arrogance of watching failure parade across the field, while the so-called genius coach insists it's all part of some brilliant long-term plan. If Stefanski were a pilot, he'd probably get on the intercom and say, "If this turbulence feels rough, don't worry, folks. It's all part of the flight plan." That's exactly the kind of thing Stefanski would announce if he were flying the plane. Meanwhile, the passengers, aka Browns fans, are gripping their seats, watching smoke pour from the engine and wondering if they're about to nosedive into the ground. That's the Stefanski experience. Calm tone, terrible results, and everyone else panicking while he insists it's fine. And the fans? They're no longer buying it. Every game feels like a hostage situation. Every drive another test of patience. The Browns aren't just bad right now. They're boring. The offense drags along, predictable, lifeless, while the one guy who could inject electricity into the whole thing, Shedeur Sanders, just stands there, helmet on, face unreadable, like a storm waiting to hit. Haslam's eruption only made this circus louder. The cameras are locked in on every sideline reaction, every stare from the owner's box, every slight twitch from Stefanski. The NFL thrives on drama, and Cleveland just became the biggest soap opera in the league. Forget game film. This is reality TV with shoulder pads. The truth is, this team isn't just playing football anymore. They're playing with their reputation, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Will Shedeur finally be unleashed, or will Stefanski dig his heels in until the entire season collapses? One thing's for sure, the Browns don't just have a quarterback problem, they've got a full-blown identity crisis, and everyone's watching to see who cracks first. The Browns aren't just flirting with disaster, they're living in it. Every snap feels like Russian roulette, and the only bullet left is whether Stefanski finally gives Shedeur Sanders the keys or drags the whole franchise down with him. This isn't just a losing streak anymore. This is a slow motion implosion that everyone can see coming. Fans know it, analysts know it. Even rival teams are laughing at how obvious it's become. Cleveland is sitting on the kind of talent that could flip their season around. Yet Stefanski acts like putting Shedeur in would somehow ruin his master plan.
He's an offensive coach that can't generate offense. Their roster sucks. Barry sucks too. Like, just having to be subjected to watch the Cleveland Browns play football as an NFL fan is exhausting. Won't play Dillon Gabriel. They stick with Joe Flacco. The fact that we have to watch Joe Flacco play after what happened with the Colts. Sure, he had a Linsanity run with the Browns. Then he played with the Colts and they had to go back to Anthony Richardson. This is the same team. Got Danny Dimes balling. What is Jimmy Haslam doing? Jimmy Haslam's like a smart guy, a swaggy guy, a very rich person. I know some things about Haslam. He's sick.
But what plan? A 1-3 record that already has the fan base ready to revolt? That's not a plan. That's sabotage dressed up as strategy. And Haslam, he's pacing that luxury suite like a man ready to throw someone out of the building. Owners don't like being embarrassed, especially not on national TV. And right now, Cleveland is the league's punchline. Every meme, every late-night joke, every sports headline is clowning the Browns. And that's the kind of humiliation no billionaire takes lightly. The real danger is this. The season is slipping away before their eyes. Every week wasted is another chance gone, another headline written, another step closer to a total meltdown. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback, he's the only card left that could change the story. But the longer Stefanski waits, the more it feels like we're all watching a franchise willingly drive itself straight into the wall. Don't worry, everyone, this turbulence is just character building as the plane nosedives straight into the ocean. That's Cleveland football right now. The season technically isn't dead yet, but let's be real. The drama has stolen center stage. At this point, fans aren't even tuning in for touchdowns anymore. They're glued to the screen to see how ugly the Stefanski-Haslam showdown can get. Will the coach finally cave and unleash Shedeur? Will Haslam slam his fist on the big red "you're fired" button mid-season? Or will the Browns somehow, against all odds, flip this circus into a miracle run? Nobody knows, but everybody's watching, because that's the cruel comedy of Cleveland. No matter how much of a disaster they become, they always put on one hell of a show. Even in failure, the Browns are spectacular. Even at 1-3, their headline goal. And even as Shedeur Sanders hasn't played a single snap, he's already the most talked about figure in the entire locker room. The next move belongs to Stefanski. But with Haslam breathing fire down his neck and an entire fan base howling for change, the clock is ticking louder than ever. And if Stefanski doesn't make the call soon, well, he might not be the one making decisions at all. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you in the next one.